Hello and welcome back. All right, tonight is an addendum for a previous recipe that we did, which was the Fathead Pizza. We did a pepperoni version and it was awesome. But as I was putting it in the air fryer, which we're using to bake, I got to thinking, man, I wonder if it's gonna cook right. And it didn't quite cook enough, but it was super tasty. So tonight what I'm doing is I have the dough that I made on the actual recipe because I had to make the dough the night before. That'll make sense in a minute. I'm going to redo that, and we're just going to pre-bake the dough, and then I'm going to make our pizzas for tonight. But I thought this would be a good way to show you what the difference is. So stick with me and we will get right to it. Before I go too much further, if you like what we're laying down and you want to help support us by letting the YouTube algorithm know you're digging our style, I'll greatly appreciate it if you would give us a like on this video and subscribe to our channel. I'm Dr. Sam Graber. You may not know me, and that's good and groovy. In time, hopefully you'll be able to explore the rest of our channel. The channel again is Dr. Sam Graber. I'm a 30-year experienced chiropractic physician, now retired. I'm doing health coaching and I really focus in on the metabolism. And not just any old metabolism. I do the metabolism when it comes to helping you be in the sugar burning state and the fat burning state. And what we do there is work on your metabolic switch so that you can be in sugar burning when you're eating and then flip on over into fat burning when you're fasting. Fasting is not a scary word when done the way that I recommend. Stick around, I'll learn you up, and if you like what we're doing, you can let us know. We could love it. Comments are always welcome. Even if you want to be a little snarky, it's okay, but don't be offended if I snark back, okay? Thank you. This takes a lot to really intimidate me, so not really gonna. Anyway, we're gonna put a little bit of our almond flour dusting down here. And so I'm working off the recipe. If you are a member of our recipe share, it's free. All we ask is to know your name because we don't want to be rude and be like, hey you, hey subscriber. That's gross. So we ask for that and your email. All right, so we're gonna put this out. The dough is fresh out of the refrigerator. Looking so good. And the recipe for that is in that recipe share. So if you decide you want to join us, you will have all of this at your disposal. All right, this works very much like it would a traditional pizza dough, if you've ever done that. The only way it is not like a traditional pizza dough is there's no like throwing it up here. I'd just be wearing it because it doesn't quite work like that. There's none of that gluten and stuff. But as you'll see on this camera, it works pretty well. I like it. There we go. So I'm just trying to help this be as round or circular as possible. We'll see how I do. If I do as well as last time or better. Okay, I think I'm gonna take this off here. And if I drop anything, Bella's gonna make sure that I don't have to clean it up with a broom or a mop. It's a nice thing sometimes about having doggos. They're your cleanup crew. I don't think you guys can see her, but she is very attentive. All right, oops. Okay, getting a little sticky, so I'm gonna add some of this almond flour. All right, so when it gets a little funky, we are just gonna fix that back. It really likes to roll around. I'm sure there is some way of helping this stay stuck a little better, but I don't know it yet. Okay, so ideally we get this nice and even in the thickness. All right, feeling pretty good about that. I'm taking the big half. Oh, I love it. This is a fun project. I mean, you gotta eat, right? So we have to have dinner and lunches and brekkie whenever we're doing brekkie as our well, I should say our first meal when we break our fast. So sometimes it's fun to just put the camera on and see what kind of magic you can make. All right, you know what? That's feeling a little too thick. So I am going to make an executive decision and thin this out just a bit. There we go. Feeling a little better about that. And one more. Okay. And I'm just going to tidy these up a little bit so we don't get burnt edges. Okay. Let me preheat this because it doesn't take very long, so I didn't want to do that too far ahead of time. Let's see, bake, and we're doing 375. I'm going to start with a 15-minute timer, so that'll preheat, and then once it beeps, I will put it in there and it will have a 15-minute countdown. Girl, this cannot be good that yet. It's almond flour. I think because it's contraband, it's better, you know. Ooh, pardon me. Okay, because we're working with a square, get that just right. Okay, I'll be back in a second once that preheats, and then I'll be putting that in. All right, heard the magic noise, so we're gonna go ahead and put this in. Rock and roll. All right, we're starting with 15. I don't think that's gonna do the whole thing. I'll be back in a few moments to show you how we're progressing. Look at this. All right, the edges are looking good. Weird, it's cooking a little more in the front, so I'm gonna turn this around. So that was 15 minutes. I'm gonna do like 5 more minutes. 20 minutes with the one side up. And then I'm anticipating I might flip it over, and then that's where we'll put our toppings on, but I'll let you know in a moment. Again, this is our test kitchen. We're figuring this thing out. And of course, it'll be different next time. That's just cooking. What are you gonna do? Executive decision. At 17 minutes, this is what it looks like on the top. So I am going to look to turn this over. Yeah, because that is not quite as done. So here's my idea. We're going to flip it over and cook it a little bit on the top, and then I'm going to add the toppings. I think this is going to work. All right, it's already ready on the top, or on the top. So I'm going to flip it over and see how this works for us. All right, wish me luck here. Can she do it? Go like that. And then flip-flipperoo. Okay. See, that's just still a little bit liquidy. So I think that's going to be perfect. I'm going to put him back on here. Cook it just a wee, and then put the toppings on it. Yeah, that already feels a little better than last time. So I'm gonna choose 3 minutes with it still bare after being flipped. All right, keep track of that, people. Help me out. Okay, so here we go. And we're going to put on our sauce. So we're doing a half and half with the Alfredo that we did the other day for the shrimp Alfredo. If you missed that, oh my gosh, you have to go back and get it because it was so good. I mean, look how thick that is. That is ridiculous. That is good stuff. It's making me drool. Crazy. Okay. Now, gonna melt that off a little. I could have melted this before, but I knew this nice warm crust was going to help me out. I mean, it's just like butter. It's crazy. Stop. Man, he cannot stop licking the floor. I don't think I've been that messy already. Lordy boy. Okay, I'm just doing it like butter. So I'm just gonna go on record saying this is low carb, but not low calorie. Okay, we're not worried about the calories when we know where those calories are coming from. Part of my philosophy is definitely, I'm not really into counting calories, but I want to know what those calories are doing in the body. So if it's a calorie that's going to affect the liver in a certain way or affect our hormones in a way that is not nourishing, those are the calories we want to edge out of our diet. Okay, so I'm gonna put a little bit of this basil on first, so we can have some layers of flavor. But calories do matter. I'm not saying that they don't matter. I just think if you're counting and tracking your protein and you're keeping your carbohydrates capped wherever your cap is, for some that's going to be super, super low, and for others, not so low. It also depends on what you're demanding of your body and your brain. Sometimes we need more carbohydrates, nature's carbs, not factory carbs, and definitely not lab carbs. Ugh. Okay, I think we're gonna go like a so. I'll try to do this so we can have smaller pieces this time. So 1, 2, 3. Now for the thick cut pepperoni. Really thick, nice. Cools nicely. All right, so hopefully we don't end up with overdone crust. We might, but I'd almost rather have that than it too raw, like last time. And now I'm going to, instead of bake, I'm going to make an executive decision again and do a broil. Wonder if I can, how do I do this? Temp. I'm going to do a low broil, and we're going to start with just 3 minutes. Okay, let's see how we're doing. Oh yeah, I'm going to call it good. Okay. All right, so here is our final product. We can see that that is looking really good around the edges. I probably could have dialed back a little bit of the pre-cook so that we could get these pepperoni a little more crispy, but otherwise I'm super happy. What you think? That looks a lot better. Yeah, I think this is gonna be easier when we cut it. I'm gonna let it sit for a while though, before I go cutting it. Now, all right, thanks for joining. Like I say, this was just a refire, as they say in the kitchen biz, in the chefing world. This crust is a whole lot better. Let me see if I can show that to y'all. So the last time it was a little more raw, so to speak, in here. So it really wasn't staying together, but this is definitely has the texture of a piece of pizza. I'm gonna show you right now. Much better. I mean, I think I got a new favorite. All right, thank you for joining. We will see you in the next recipe. This is going to be just added to the previous Fathead pizza. Bye for now. Can you hear me a little? This is our symbol for, or signal for, little pot holder. Thank you.